Hello. Hi, everyone. And today we're going to talk about why today's leaders are not just dealing with change, they're shaping change. And I'm going to give you some tools to help you explore how you can lead anchored with stability and vision, regardless of the external environment. My name's Heather McGonigal. I'm a co CEO and founder of Empowering Leadership Teams. I just wanted to share a few things, a few mindful leadership practices to help you today. I also wanted to share some exciting news. We have a new book available, and the link will be under this live where you can purchase this ebook, Reclaim Your Energy: How Mindful Leadership Helps You Cut Through the Chaos. Barbara Schindler and I co authored this book in order to make our teachings accessible to everyone at this time, because we really do feel like mindful leadership helps you cut through all the chaos, get connected to your own authentic gifts, talents, your voice, and your confidence, and show up in ways that can make you proud, that can strengthen your team, and at the end of the day, also leads to better business results. So you will see ways to grab your copy of this book, and we really hope you do, because we have packed it full of valuable information and some quick exercises to help you bring a more mindful approach to everything that you are doing. And we know that you will find it very supportive. Now, to get down to what I specifically wanted to cover with you today, which is about stability in a storm. Now, the good thing about business is that we have business goals, right? We have business goals, we have a business picture. There's a lot of data we often have that we can check in on and see how we're doing in relationship to those business goals. So, business, unlike some of our maybe personal relationships, has a very clear scoreboard that we can check in, we can go back to as we're on the journey and recalibrate, see how we're really doing, and adjust the plan. And that's what you want to be doing now more than ever. In times of great fluctuation and change, you want to take movement, move forward, take action, and then you get more information from taking the action. And some of the more information shows up in the data. What resonated with your customers? What didn't? Other things like that we can see reflected in the data points. I want to share with you quickly. We at Empowering Leadership Teams teach entrepreneurial business owners and their teams a leadership toolbox that they can then have in common as they're working in the business together, which gives them a shortcut for how to talk about things, how to make sure things are on track, how to get things back on track if they go off track. We give them a common language and a toolbox and a lot of support to set them up for success. And one of my teaching tools that I use often, I want to share with you. Here's another image that I am sharing now. And let me make that bigger. This is the scoreboard of business that you are aligning to with your team. This is very basic picture of your strategic plan. Now, you may say, I don't know what the strategic plan is. I'm not in those meetings. I don't make those decisions. Even if that is the case, I want you to slow down. Look at these 4 buckets I have on the screen. Up top, we have financial goals and strategic goals. And then underneath, we have priority projects and internal improvements. The top 2 goals, financial goals and strategic goals, the very top of the business, your CEO, the head of the finance department, these people are involved in those top 2 buckets. The bottom 2 buckets, priority projects and internal improvements, is where the team lives. So you may not know for sure what the financial or strategic goals, but you should know what are the priority projects I'm currently working on. And also, if these projects are birthed into the world and they're successful, what do we need internally? That's the purpose of this internal improvement box. What do we need to have in place in time to take in the new customers or whatever the case may be from that successful frontward facing project. So, the point of this teaching is not that you have to know the whole strategic plan, but just slow down and realize, what do you think you know about this picture? Because you do want to align to this with your team. And as things are moving and shifting dynamically, and you're setting along your way, you want to be able to check back in and think, are we still working on the right things? Should we still have these projects as our priority? Or is something changed so large in the external environment that we should change our projects? Or if we only know what the priority projects are, but we don't know what the financial or strategic goals are, this empowers you then as a team member. Ask that question: why does this project that I am working on with my team matter to the big business picture? What goal will it have achieved that when it achieves that goal in the future, people in your leadership team will be celebrating because you achieved what? Make sure you understand what that what is, because often there's fuzziness around that. And any fuzziness can trip you and your team up. You want to go for clarity. So if you're unclear, if you have fuzziness, ask the questions. Be empowered, because you in business, the good news is we do have a scoreboard to see how we are doing. And I want you to use that to your advantage. All right. Let me just take down this share and let me make sure I'm giving you everything I promised today. So, I'm talking about, first, you anchor yourself in the business picture. And I showed you a mini teaching around the strategic plan, and that's your scoreboard. The other anchor point is with yourself. How are you doing today? How are you doing in the midst of it all? Mindful leadership asks you in all kinds of ways to check in with yourself and develop a relationship with yourself where you can actually know how you are doing in the midst of it all, and have ways that you take care of yourself. So, I want to share something else with you. What helps you return to yourself during the day? I want you to be thinking of a morning ritual that you could build if you don't have one already. The way you take your coffee, maybe a walk you do in the morning, some other thing you do to give yourself a good setup for the day. I was coaching with someone this past week, and we ended up talking about ways that they could better set themselves up for the start and end of their workday. In leadership, there's the things out of your control and the things in your control. In mindful leadership, you want to do everything you can to work with the things in your control and make positive change. And this right here is something very much in your control. Having some practices built into your everyday that help you return to yourself in the midst of the busyness. As I said, it can start with your morning ritual, how you take your coffee, maybe that you spend 15 minutes with your fresh cup of coffee and your priority list at the start of your workday, and you set yourself up for success that way. Maybe you can do the second one on this list: walk between meetings. Build a habit to take a break between meetings and go for a walk. This helps you incorporate the information that you gathered and also release any energy from sitting and being in a meeting. So, what is going to help set you up for success? I want you to think of one thing that you could add to your day that would be a nice moment of self care, not too hard for you to do, even in the busiest of times. One thing that you can do that will be relaxing and replenishing. Do you know what that is? Choose one thing and add it to your repertoire this week. You'd be surprised, that reminder to take care of yourself is necessary because of the busyness, because you're a whole person and you have a family life and a work life and, social obligations. So you want to be mindful in your approach and how you manage your energy. The next thing I want to talk to you about today, kind of tied to this mindful approach, is how you can be stronger in shifting from survival mode and being sure you're showing up as an empowering leader, one that is not in reaction mode, but instead is calm and focused and taking things one step at a time. I met a new client last night and they shared a new quote with me that I love, and I'm going to share it with you right now. And that quote is that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So, when you're feeling a sense of urgency, like hurry up, demanded on you from outside messaging, the passing of time in the day, your own expectations, we want to interrupt this sense of urgency. Pause. Pause for 90 seconds. It's not that long, but it is long if you ever have sat and counted a full 90 seconds. Gives your brain the time to move the energy from your amygdala fight flight center to your prefrontal cortex where good decisions get made. So you want to build a habit of pressing pause. And then you can use my new quote: slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Or the other way I've been saying it for years is sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. But I love that. Slow is smooth and smooth is actually fast, right? If we're moving just from a sense of urgency, we can be moving fast, but it can be very chaotic, and our chaotic energy becomes contagious and bounces off other people in the team. And the next thing you know, we're working and living in an environment of fight, flight, survival. That is not best for good decision making. Period, full stop. It's not possible. You're not in the right part of your brain, and neither of your are your teammates when you're existing purely in a sense of urgency. So please practice pressing pause. That is the invitation. It's not going to stop your progress. It's just going to ensure that you are anchored calmly in yourself, connected to your best thinking and your inner knowing and confidence. And then you're able to face whatever the situation is at hand in a much more clear way, where you will find a more successful way through. And you don't have to find the solutions by yourself. From this calm centered place, you can think through: who on my team do I need to think about this with? What meeting do I need to bring this to? Or who should I do a quick huddle with to discuss this current situation? So you're not alone to solve it by yourself. You have a team. Thank goodness. Use them, but use them in wise ways. Don't be coming with urgency and chaos. Come with calm clarity, with the facts of the situation you need to solve, and then work on it together. And here's the last thing I want to leave you with today: your leadership, how you show up, matters. It literally creates the environment you and the team are working in. You're not the only one, but every day how you show up adds to this environment. So, what are you adding to the environment? What are you demonstrating to your team members through your actions and activities? I invite you to demonstrate more mindful leader approaches, demonstrate taking pauses, demonstrate taking those self-care breaks, doing your morning ritual, going for a walk between meetings. Let your team notice you are doing these things because it gives them then permission to do the same. I want to leave you with one final question of reflection. And before I do, thank you for your time and attention. If you would like any support with what you're facing in your role at this moment in time, please pop over to our website, Empowering Leadership Teams, where you can sign up for a discovery call. And in that discovery call, it is not a sales call. It is a time to meet with us and get coaching support for where you're at right now, because that's the best way for you to tell if our tools would be helpful to you. And I think that they would be. We've helped many, many leaders and entrepreneurial businesses have great success. And I'd love to support you on your journey. So that's the invitation. If you want support, please reach out. The option is there for a discovery call. It's of no charge, no pressure. We love what we do. We love supporting leaders, and I'd love to support you on your journey. Okay, so I'm leaving you with one final question, and it is this. Let me make sure you can see it. I'm going to make it a little bigger for a second. Anchored in your inner calm and wisdom, taking a pause and taking a breath to be right here, right now. Feel your feet touching the ground, feel your body in the chair if you're sitting, feel your body in space if you're standing. Get present to this moment right now. And then consider this stem sentence. Fill in the blank. I lead more powerfully when I remember. I lead more powerfully when I remember. I'll fill in the blank for you and share mine. I lead more powerfully when I remember that I am human and therefore perfectly imperfect. And I allow myself to just be and show up the best that I can, moment to moment. Thank you for your time, your attention here. I'm cheering you on. Reach out for any support. And remember, we have a new mindful leadership book, Reclaim Your Energy, How Mindful Leadership Helps You Cut Through the Chaos, which I co-authored with my business partner, Barbara Schindler. Get the book. It has a lot of helpful information in it. And let me know what you think. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.